Welcome to Best Top 10 Ever, Dragon Ball Z vs. Dragon Ball Super, two of the most iconic anime series ever. Today we're diving into 10 key differences between these epic sagas. From power levels to storytelling, these series have their own unique flavors. Don't forget to subscribe for more anime insights. Let's get started. The Dragon Ball franchise has become one of the most beloved and influential anime series of all time. While the original Dragon Ball series laid the groundwork, Dragon Ball Z is where the franchise truly skyrocketed in popularity, cementing Goku, Vegeta, and the gang as iconic figures in anime history. Fast forward to the modern era, and Dragon Ball Super has revitalized the franchise with new adventures, transformations, and characters. While both are part of the same universe, Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super differ in many significant ways. Let's explore the top 10 differences between the two sagas that have helped shape the Dragon Ball legacy. 10. The timeline of events. Dragon Ball Z follows the original Dragon Ball series closely, picking up where Goku grows into adulthood. The events of Dragon Ball Z cover Goku's battles against enemies like Frieza, Cell, and Majin Buu, all of which focus on his journey to protect the Earth and become the strongest fighter in the universe. On the other hand, Dragon Ball Super begins several years after the events of Dragon Ball Z. It explores Goku's life after the defeat of Majin Buu, introducing new threats like Beerus, the God of Destruction, and the Tournament of Power. While Dragon Ball Z is more of a continuation of Goku's childhood and early adulthood, Dragon Ball Super delves into his life as a grown adult and a family man. 9. The power scaling. One of the most noticeable differences between Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super is the power scaling. In Dragon Ball Z, power levels were a central theme. The character's abilities were ranked with numbers, and Goku's journey focused on continuously breaking his limits, such as his iconic Super Saiyan transformations. While power scaling in Dragon Ball Z was essential for the story, it was relatively straightforward, with clear markers for each villain's strength. In Dragon Ball Super, power scaling has been taken to even greater extremes, with new transformations like Super Saiyan God and Ultra Instinct, pushing the boundaries of power to unimaginable heights. The battles in Dragon Ball Super are more complex, and the focus has shifted from numerical values to more abstract concepts like divine power and multiversal strength, adding new layers to the character's abilities. 8. New characters and gods. Dragon Ball Z had a core group of main characters, including Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Gohan, and others. While there were some new faces introduced, like the androids and Majin Buu, the show focused primarily on this core group of Z fighters and their ongoing struggles against powerful foes. Dragon Ball Super, however, introduces a host of new characters and divine beings, the most notable being Beerus, the God of Destruction, and his companion Whis. The addition of gods and higher dimensional beings expands the universe significantly, creating a greater scale for the story. The inclusion of the Tournament of Power, which pits universes against each other, also brings in new characters, many of whom come from different universes and possess godlike abilities. 7. The tone and storytelling. The tone of Dragon Ball Z was often intense and dramatic, with long, drawn-out fights that carried a serious, sometimes dark, atmosphere. Episodes were often filled with emotional moments, such as Goku's sacrifice against Cell or his desperate transformation into a Super Saiyan after Frieza killed Krillin. These moments were crucial to Goku's growth as a character and the emotional investment of the audience. Dragon Ball Super carries a slightly lighter tone, mixing action with humor and character-driven moments. While there are still intense battles, especially in story arcs like the Tournament of Power, Dragon Ball Super often integrates comedic elements and lighter interactions between characters. This shift makes Dragon Ball Super feel more playful and adventurous, in contrast to the more serious atmosphere of Dragon Ball Z. 6. The role of Goku's family. In Dragon Ball Z, Goku's family played an important role, but they were often more in the background. His wife, Chi-Chi, and son, Gohan, had their moments, but Goku's primary focus was on fighting and training. Gohan played a pivotal role during the Cell Saga, where he was the one to ultimately defeat Cell. But Goku's sacrifices and his personal quest to surpass his limits remained at the forefront. In Dragon Ball Super, Goku's family is given a larger role in the storyline. Goten, Gohan, and Chi-Chi continue to have important moments, but Vegeta's family also takes a more prominent position. Vegeta's relationship with his wife Bulma and their son Trunks is explored further, and Goku's relationship with his granddaughter Pan becomes more central in the later arcs of the series. Goku's growth as a father and his commitment to his family are key aspects of Dragon Ball Super. 5. Villains and threats. In Dragon Ball Z, the series villains were mostly powerful beings from other planets or universes who sought to destroy Earth or conquer the universe. These included iconic antagonists like Frieza, Cell, and Majin Buu, all of whom presented an existential threat to the Earth. Dragon Ball Super, however, introduces a new category of villains, such as Beerus, the god of destruction, and Zamasu, the god of the multiverse. Many of the threats in Dragon Ball Super are cosmic in scale, and the stakes go beyond just Earth. Dragon Ball Super also introduces the multiverse, with different universes and their respective fighters becoming central to many of the story arcs. The scale of the antagonistic forces is much grander, involving cosmic gods and multiversal crises rather than just singular threats to Earth. 4. Animation and art style. The animation in Dragon Ball Z was iconic for its time, with vibrant colors and explosive action sequences that were groundbreaking for 90s and on. The art style in Dragon Ball Z was consistent, with a focus on muscular character designs, dramatic fight scenes, and big energy blasts. The use of CGI in certain scenes, especially during large-scale battles, has given Dragon Ball Super a fresh visual appeal. However, fans have debated the quality of animation in certain episodes of Dragon Ball Super, particularly in early arcs, where inconsistencies in animation quality have been noticeable. Despite this, Dragon Ball Super has generally embraced a more dynamic and fluid art style compared to its predecessor. 3. Transformations and power-ups. Transformations in Dragon Balls were a key element in Goku's journey, particularly the Super Saiyan form, which marked the evolution of his power and abilities. The Super Saiyan transformations became the symbol of power growth in the series, with each new form being an escalation in the stakes. Additionally, Ultra Instinct, a transformation that Goku achieves in battle, is introduced as the pinnacle of his abilities. These transformations are often tied to not just physical strength, but also spiritual growth and mastery of martial arts, making them more complex than the simpler power-ups in Dragon Ball Z. 2. Filler episodes. Dragon Ball Z is notorious for its filler episodes, especially during the early sagas. The filler often extended the length of battles and slowed down the overall plot progression. While these episodes sometimes provided character development or comic relief, they also made the pacing of the series feel sluggish at times. Dragon Ball Super also contains filler episodes, but they tend to be less of a burden on the overall storyline. Many of the filler episodes focus on character interactions, humor, or side stories that don't directly impact the main plot. Additionally, Dragon Ball Super's filler content often ties into larger arcs, making it feel more like a natural extension of the narrative rather than a distraction. 1. The reception and legacy. Dragon Ball Z is often considered a defining anime series that helped shape the genre and influence anime culture globally. Its emotional moments, iconic battles, and timeless characters like Goku and Vegeta have left an indelible mark on anime history. Dragon Ball Z was the gateway for many anime fans in the West and has remained a beloved classic. While it doesn't carry the same nostalgic weight as Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super has become incredibly popular, especially with its Tournament of Power arc and the introduction of new transformations. Its continuation of the story and expansion of the Dragon Ball universe has earned it its own place in anime history, solidifying its legacy alongside Dragon Ball Z. Thanks for watching Best Top 10 Ever. Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super each bring something incredible to the table. And these 10 differences set them apart. Which one do you prefer? Hit subscribe for more epic anime comparisons, and I'll see you in the next video.